You might want to say tonight's about should he stay or should he go. Yes, that's right. The decision that people have been waiting for, and especially in the promo wrestling world, we will get that answer tonight, we think. And we talked last year about Decision Desk 2024, though it's really more than a year ago now. But I think you get my drift, ladies and gentlemen. And we talked about in the Decision Desk who's going to win the White House. Well, you might want to say who's staying and what that decision will be. Will this man take his talents elsewhere, or will he continue to be at the center of an enterprise? We'll get into that. We'll also get into what happened in a TPW locker room that may have led us to a match with a guy who, let's just say, usually comes up aces. We'll get into that. But really, what tonight is about, in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, the only platform where you'll get an answer to the decision. Nowhere else. Not an Instagram Live, not a Facebook Live, not a post, not a 2-word comment, not on a story. The only platform that has nearly 2,000 subscribers, and the only platform, ladies and gentlemen, that has been featured in the places like the Million Viewed Daily, Blabbermouth.net, and that little magazine called Parade. The only platform, by the way, where all music and all wrestling matters. And this man is going to make one of the most highly anticipated decisions, undoubtedly, in a very long time, and maybe the most eagerly anticipated decision in promo wrestling history. And ladies and gentlemen, plus I'm going to unveil something, well, you might want to feel or not feel bad about me when I raise my hand up here in a minute. But before I do that, it is now time to give this man that introduction we've been waiting for to start this weekend off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and all wrestling matters. So with that, wait for further ado here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show. A man that took the promo wrestling world by storm by holding the TPW World Heavyweight Championship, and a man that has held the EPW World Heavyweight Championship and is currently the reigning, defending one half of the EPW and the TPW Tag Team Champions from the group, the Enterprise. His name is simply put, the Lover Boy. Fine! Smoke it if you got him, because the double champ is here. My friend, how are we doing?
Well, excuse me there. It's good to be here. It's got some of that stress off my shoulders just by being here with you, and it's good to be back. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming, and obviously, you know what? No decision tonight. You know what? Changed my mind. Psych. You know what? No decision tonight. We're just gonna talk about the weather. We're just
Just a
gonna
normal
talk
day, right?
maybe what's going on out
Yeah, we'll
there
catch up.
in the NBA. Maybe we're gonna go out there and talk about Elimination Chamber. Maybe we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about, I don't know, the latest surgery J Lo got. Maybe we're gonna talk about Hillary Duff and her big backside. No, no, you know what? Just kidding. Just kidding. We're not gonna talk about Scream 7. No. We're gonna talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. I just thought maybe for the audience out there, maybe we would just see if you were listening and maybe you didn't want the decision. We should talk about some current events, maybe talk about comparisons and ladies you like. But I have a feeling that the people want to hear you, Dario Divine, and hear what you have to say. But before I get to that decision, because I'm sure a lot of people want to hear about that decision.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there. You know what? We'll get there, and plus, I'll
Yeah.
have an announcement for the world. And I'm sure some people will definitely want to say maybe it's time to put me on some type of list, not the Epstein files. Don't That's not that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, not that. Well, you'll see when I raise my hand in a minute. But Dario Divine, let's talk about it. TPW, you've got a match coming up, and a guy that says he comes up with aces, but you're the lover boy, and set the tables and what we can expect between you and Ace Atlas.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. I mean, our paths have crossed slightly before in Team Enterprise versus Team Harrison, Team EPW, where we ended up taking the win. But that's the only really time I've matched up with him and seen him stand across the ring from me, and looking forward to it. It's got some caveats. If I win, I am added into the Change of Fortune Championship match at the pay-per-view. It'll become a triple threat. Ace Atlas is going to keep his rematch regardless, which he lost, so I don't know how he has a rematch because he wasn't the champion, but he has a rematch clause for some reason. That's Rocky for you. But hey, if I win, I get my shot, and that's a big day for Eli Bowman. That'll be the last title defense he needs for that Change of Fortune championship. So a title that meant so much to Comatose. I mean, it should come back home to one of us, right?
I was gonna say because I remember when Comatose was here the last time before we saw him not too long ago. Oh, last week. And we knew the importance of that change of fortune championship because we know what it has led to him currently and what he did to Maxwell Mangione. You might want to say that in Comatose's words kind of set the tables for what that decision you may have to decide on. What you did say, you were going to make a decision live, and there's, like I said, only one platform anybody makes decisions on live, but certainly you would like to follow in Comatose's footsteps and get a victory here and lead you to, again, where what Comatose had did last year turning into this year with that TPW heavyweight championship.
Call me obsessed, call me bitter, call me whatever you want, but if there's any way I can scratch and claw back to Elias, I'm gonna do it. I mean, that TPW title, I can't look at him the same with that on his shoulder. I can't.
And you need this win because we talked when you were last here. The last time you were here, we had the big TPW day. Almost everybody was here in the locker room. And I go back, in some ways, this decision actually goes back to your first appearance on it. We had referenced that when, well, let's just say a Dawn of Combat was here, and then what led to what we saw with Draquan and Comatose. But if you think about your last 4 months or so in TPW and elsewhere, I mean, it's defined going back to when you lost that championship and when Rocky started to put you up, he put up himself against you, and losing that title has kind of led to this moment, to this decision. So if you look back, you really need this victory because your last 4 months certainly weren't the first 4 months. The first 4 months you had, again, we were talking about you, comparing you to some of the very greatest in wrestling history, let alone promo wrestling history. So you need a victory in a lot of ways because of what your last 4 months has been.
Yeah, and I mean, before we get to that, let me reiterate this. You said it before. There's only one platform I could have made this decision on, and it was here. I mean, where else are the lights the brightest, the names are the biggest? I mean, there was only one way to do it. So, if
That's it.
LeBron can do it, hey, I can do it
You know
too.
what? Listen, you never know. LeBron may come on sports. I would put it out there. We've had Rhino, we've had Raven, I've had Savio Vega, I've had on David Ellefson, who is the co-founder of Megadeth, who just went #1. I had the producer of Tool's big albums, if you're a rock fan. So I've had on
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne's second longest tenured guitar player, Josie Scott of Saliva. I mean, he's the guy that wrote Chris Jericho's Entrance once upon a time. And the Spider-Man movie, oh, that was a #1. So I can keep going. So you never know. I may get LeBron on here. Yesterday, my guest, Sean Jovi, said I need to get the band Black Tide on here. He said, hey, it was my song in the backyard years ago. You got to get them on here. My buddy Anthony Finkel says I got to get Motley Crue. This one says I need to get RVD on here. So this one says I need to get Stone Cold Steve Austin on here. So, I hear it all. I'm working on it, but I'm glad you're here tonight. And I could certainly see a victory against Ace Atlas would lead you to where you once were, and side by side for now with your tag team partner, Comatose, back on top in the promo wrestling game.
And that's the thing. Regardless of what decision he made, what decision I'm gonna make, I mean, we're still tag team championships, and the bond goes beyond that. And I think we can be civil enough to hold the championship together because we're both men that want to win, and we're both men that are hungry for more. So I don't think he has an issue with holding a championship with me, regardless of which way the coin goes tonight.
I mean, I didn't know we were flipping coins, but we'll certainly, I'm sure,
How'd
get
you
into
think I was
that.
deciding?
Okay, you know what? Listen, like I said, you don't have to. Maybe you want to change your mind. Maybe you
Live
want to wait
coin
a couple.
flip.
Maybe you want to come back tomorrow and make a decision. Maybe you think about it. You
I
need
got it
more
right
time.
there, ready. A
You never
live
know.
coin flip, first ever.
Listen, you know what? That's a good idea. You know what? In all these years, I haven't done a coin flip. That's actually a clever idea. We'll have to see. Maybe we should do a coin flip one of these days. That's a good, clever point. But I got all that. All right, so I got that. Obviously, we'll see what happens with you in TPW. Certainly big things that you mentioned. Rocky now is, managing people, and he's doing the walk, and he's on his way in the wrestling world. I see some people here in the chat. Hang on tight. Trust me.
Well,
I'm going to get to you. I'm going to get to your freak math.
you know what? It's funny. People like to sit there in the locker room and call him Rocky McMahon sometimes, and he'll sit there and deny it. But then he's on camera doing a walk like that, and it's like it's tough to deny it at that point, man. He just you're
Yeah,
buttering
I
his
mean,
bread
you know
right
what?
there.
It's been all over TikTok. It's been all over Facebook. He's doing the strut. He's doing
got
the
the
dance.
McMahon strut already. He's got it in him.
I'm not used to him with the short hair. He's got that haircut. He's got the little mustache, and he's walking around, and he's got the thing going for him, which is great. Listen, I'm not, certainly, I'm, not one to talk in that respect, but I mean, obviously, if he, he's had the do rag before, but I guess maybe he's embracing it after. Maybe he's embracing that inner, what so many have said, not just in the locker room, but in and around the pro wrestling room. There's been guys that have certainly said things about Rocky in the past.
Hey, I mean, he took it to another level and even sold T-shirts with his face on it. So, I mean, if he wants to play the part, he's doing a great job at it. And I mean, that's what he does. I mean, he's CEO Rocky. He's Rocky behind the scenes. We got Durag Rocky. He's got all iterations over here. He's got everything in him. So
he certainly does. And if you are out there, that is Dario Divine's Instagram page, and you'd like to follow TPW, I would certainly highly encourage you to do so here. And we are with Dario Divine, the lover boy. He is one half of the TPW and the EPW tag team champions. And I do want to say hello to some people out there, and we'll do it because I see a buddy of mine who is up at 3:37 in the morning in the UK, and that is the legendary Tribal Cheese. And I guess I should make the announcement here for some people because I announced it yesterday, but unfortunately, you might want to put me on a list, the injured list, because I have a fractured hand. So my hand is fractured. So unfortunately, you're going to have some awkward movements throughout the show, but my voice still works. I unfortunately, though, have a fractured hand. Thank you to the bomb cyclone and the blizzard that took all of us certainly by storm, figuratively and literally here in the Northeast. So I have a fractured hand. I luckily don't need surgery, but I'll be in a cast for a while. I'm hoping in 2 weeks to get it modified, and then we'll be on our way. So thank you. And the psychotic freak is here who did want to put. We'll get to the comments before we get to you know what. He wanted to say, when you take the square root of a negative number, that's what you get for any chance of this Dario guy winning a match. It's imaginary, not real. And, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I've heard it all before. If I take a loss, everyone goes, "You can't win a match." But if you look at the match, most likely that's right before that. It was a win. So it's like if people want to pay attention and get their facts straight, then they can do something. But again, just like this, my last match was a triple threat match where I came out on top. So I mean, if you want to talk your smack, just back it up. Just do your homework. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I have respect for Freak. He's the one that's going up against Elias at the pay per view for that TPW championship. We definitely know I've had my history. I've been there before, so I wish him all the best. But I don't know. It's a tall task. It's a difficult mountain to climb, that one. So he's
And
gonna he's gonna need some help.
he will. Well, he'll talk about that, I'm sure, soon. And because he's going back to a nap, understandably so. He has a YouTube channel. He has 100,000 plus followers on social media. He's got 5,000 plus on YouTube. Give him a sub. He's been a long time. He's definitely not a first time, but a long time on my platform. And he'll be on because I'll have definitely some time coming up now. Plenty of time. His time zone coming up here over the next several weeks. So hit the sub button for him. And that is the Tribal Cheese. And we acknowledge him, a long-time supporter and friend of the platform. So go back to bed. And I look forward to seeing your TikTok reels. And he knows John Cena, by the way. He's met John Cena and Cody Rhodes. So go out there and give him a sub. Speaking of people that are here, I do want to also plug Zilla's in the house. Thank you, Zilla. I want to say hello to my friend, Mr. Rick Del Santo. Rick is the host of the Pro Wrestling Wire. Rick is important also because he has been a rock and roll DJ, and he also does a great job covering wrestling. He actually just had on Dean Malenko's brother on his channel, so you should definitely give him a follow. He's had the Koloffs. He's had a bunch of WWE guys on here, and our friend Courtney Wood has done some writing for his website. He also works with the guys in the great state of Connecticut, which we are all near in the PWF Vanguard, and Mario Mancini, PAPW, and all those great companies, and of course TF Crew. He was there at the Milford Mania, so give him a sub if you're out there, and even if you're out there and you're only here for a minute, hit his channel a sub. He'll hit yours a sub, and you'll see some pretty big names come on his platform soon. I also want to shout out a man that I'm sure would like to know what you have to say in a few minutes. I'm going to get to that. Don't you worry. Hello to Zilla. And Ace Atlas is a goof. That's one guy that needs to shut up. Well, you've got an opportunity to, as one previous backyard wrestler would say, put up or shut up. So we'll have to see there. And yes, we'll definitely talk Tribal Cheese very soon. I can talk still. I can't lift anything, but I can talk. So that means more Sportswire episodes coming up. That means I got plenty of free time during the day. There you go there. And okay, we're good to go. And now I think it's time to get into it. I'm sure you heard through the grapevine last Thursday where it originally started, where it was AJ Harrison that was on here, and AJ Harrison had certainly held serve, and he was talking, and then things came up about the Enterprise, and it led to as you mentioned, your tag team partner had come on here, and then your other member of that group, the Enterprise, Draquan, had come on here, and a whole conversation was made, and it was made about Jerry Main. Jerry Main, the man behind the Enterprise, who we haven't seen in quite a while, and we haven't heard much from. You could almost find him in witness protection, maybe on a milk carton somewhere. And then your name came up, obviously, Dario Divine, about decisions. And before maybe we ask you about that decision, what did you think about last week's Sportswire radio episode with AJ Harrison, where he came on here and, well, let's just say formed a blacklist with your tag team partner, Comatose, and the TPW Intercontinental Champion, Draquan?
Yeah, I mean, the history between AJ Harrison and the Enterprise, as it was, I mean, it runs deep. I mean, back when we were first getting our legs, there was always rumors of everyone saying he was the next member, and just because we did business with him never meant he was never officially a part of the Enterprise, and he knew that. But he was always a good business associate of not only the enterprise, but mine on the back end. And out of the enterprise, I was usually the one that was, while he was campaigning, I was the one that used our group funding to endorse it. I was always the one personally sticking my neck out for him and what he was doing, because I saw what he was doing and I heard what he was saying. All the times I came on here or whenever he was on here, he always had plenty to say about the enterprise's situation and what was going on. And he always has diarrhea of the mouth the second he says the name Jerry Main, and it's like he can't quit it. And it's one of those things where it's like you can hear it for so long, but when are you actually going to listen? And I mean, Comatose took the bait. He bit the line, and now there's that. He's a blacklist, like you said, has formed.
Took the bait, but
I mean,
apparently what we learned last week was that AJ Harrison and Comatose had been working together now for going on nearly 3 months since Comatose's sabbatical. As you recall, Comatose had a sabbatical, which saw him leave for well over a month. And that's where things started to have led to where we are today with this blacklist.
and I think it's funny. Draquan got involved recently, so I don't think what I'm about to say. I don't think it comes down to him. I think AJ Harrison he had left TPW,
Yep.
and Comatose wasn't there at the time, but the cracks were still forming and the things were still happening. Pieces were still being put in place. So I don't know if this whole blacklist thing is done, but I do know I am going to get down to the bottom of it because I think there is somebody else behind the scenes as a part of that.
But what did you think when you think about what AJ Harrison had said here? Man, you co-run things with an EPW. Now, what did you think though in a lot of things he had pointed out going back to his first appearance on here, which now goes back almost practically 4 months ago. When we think about the chain of events, right? Everything that's happened, and he was here for support on this platform. You came on here
Always
time and
was.
time again. And Jerry Main wasn't. He had also pointed out things with Comatose. We knew that they were working behind the scenes. He had always talked about what your situation would have been, and he kind of was forecasting the future in many ways. Now, not to say that he could, obviously be a tarot reader, but certainly when it comes to fortunes, as a fortune teller, he oversaw a lot of the events that happened. I don't want to call him a Nostradamus either, but certainly if you go back in the chain of events chronologically since AJ Harrison's first appearance, he's predicted many of the things that happened. And he had come on here to this platform and encouraged you and had supported you when Jerry Main, Jerry Main has never been on Sportswire once. And Jerry Main, let me remind you about this. I don't know if you remember this. I've actually met the man in person. Jerry Main, I met him, of all places, Union Square here in the Big Apple, just randomly stopped me in the street. You would think, right? A guy that said, "Oh, I know you. I see you all the time, TPW." And of course, we recognized him right off the bat, took a photo, and I would have thought Jerry Main, I would have been seeing him on Sportswire like you, like AJ Harrison, certainly like Comatose over the past nearly 2 years. But yet, since then, I guess Jerry Main, maybe he's in witness protection. Like I stated, maybe you'd need to find him on a milk carton. And that's kind of been, during this run, exactly where Jerry Main has been.
Pre Enterprise Jerry Main, he definitely had a great run in his career. If you do your homework, you go back, you can't deny that he did what a lot of people can't do. He made it to the top of the mountain. I mean, he's done everything in this business, and that got him to be now watching from the sidelines and stepping in when he needs to and doing his best is what I'll say. But yeah, I mean, Jerry, it's interesting because for when you think of like legends of the business, he's a name that you kind of teeter around because his name gets thrown around in that conversation, but at the same time you look back and it's like, do we only like him because he had a little bit of fun with it? Is that why we think he was so good?
Well,
Because I don't,
that's the
I
point
don't
you
know.
made, because you think about names in promo wrestling lore. You think about certainly an AJ Storm, a man you've had plenty of history with, right? names were thrown around on last week's show. A man that returned to this platform last night for the first time, I would have to say, in practically 2 months, and a man who's never been away on Sportswire this long in over 3 years. Anthony Steele, a man that has won a wrestling championship in the independent wrestling world, a man that has revolutionized a generation in backyard underground wrestling. His name was thrown out there. James Taylor, a man that has not been on Sportswire Radio in over 3 months now. A man that even started a promo wrestling company, which yours truly runs the Instagram page and had the YouTube and runs the Discord page from the Promo Wrestling Federation. James Taylor. Those are guys. I mean, there are many other names. Obviously, you think about Elias. Elias has been around a long time in the promo wrestling world. There are many names that get thrown out there. And, Jerry Mayne, yes, his legacy certainly speaks volumes, but it seems like if a man with his legacy, he would be fighting. Even another guy, Devin Adams. Devin Adams is a man that has held championship gold in the backyard, the underground wrestling, a man that has been in GTS, a man that has been there with some of the very best in our wrestling circuit in the world today. We know what his career has been in promo wrestling. But yet Jerry Mayne doesn't get in the same way. And also, unlike those guys, a Steele, a Storm, a Devin, a James Taylor, those guys are never afraid to mix it up. But yet Jerry Mayne, he always seems to let you do the dirty work in the enterprise these last several months.
And that's kind of, I don't want to say to discredit him. That's what he's about these days. But I mean, for a man that he just doesn't really have the time. And I mean, for someone who wanted to invest so much into not only the business, but into us, the Comatose and I as competitors now, for someone that wanted to give back to the business and put us on a platform and give us the opportunity he did, it's interesting to see him so little and so non-frequently, like you said. Not even just for you. I can't imagine how little you hear from him, but I mean, imagine Comatose and I. We can barely hear him sometimes, and it's like.
But yet you have not jumped the shark. Draquan did. We saw the promo after what happened when they were here. Comatose talked about how the Enterprise was dead when he beat Maxwell Mangione, but we also knew about the deal he and AJ Harrison had been working on during his sabbatical, but yet you haven't gone like those guys. You haven't done that yet. Is it out of loyalty? Is it out of respect? And why haven't you gone yet the same way as the TPW Intercontinental Champion, Draquan, and your tag team partner, the other man that holds a championship that many people covet in Comatose?
I think, as we'll learn soon enough, there's a time and a place for everything. I mean, when it comes down to it, there wouldn't be an Enterprise if there wasn't a Jerry Mayne. Comatose and I had never spoken to each other before, and there was a Rumble match that I happened to win and a match that Comatose had for the Change of Fortune Championship that he happened to win. And Jerry Mayne saw the glimmer in his eyes again and said, I want these two young stars. And that's what he got. So people sit there and will say he took a backseat, but was that not the plan from the start? I mean, it's interesting. You can kind of see both sides of the coin. You can kind of sit on both sides of the fence with this one. So that's why I wanted to take the time and push it off for as long as I could, because it's not an easy decision. It's not, So that's why I think when it comes down to it, I think all it comes down to, all in all, is time and a place for everything. And
that time, I think it's coming real soon, ladies and gentlemen. I see AJ Harrison, and I see those comments, but a man with your stature, right, and a man with your talents in promo wrestling, and a man...
Can I rewind a second? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. You got it.
You were saying previously about AJ Harrison. That's just what it ticked my memory again.
Sure.
You were saying that everything he said, it's like he saw into a crystal ball. But is it not like he has someone laying the tiles for him and he's just walking the path that they're setting?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, is that something you think? Do you think that...
I think, like I said, I think that whole blacklist thing, I think there's another person involved. I know it. Comatose took a month off. He wasn't around to be planning anything. He wasn't responding to anyone. He was taking time for himself. It couldn't have been him. Draquan wasn't involved with us at the time. It can't be Draquan unless this is long hatched out. But you know what? The whole Draquan Enterprise thing was kind of spur of the moment. And again, we saw
kind of like how he came into the group very spur of the moment, also with you guys. Remember, we know about you and Jerry and Comatose to an extent, but Draquan kind of came into this picture really only within the last several weeks.
It was one of those things where the Yankees got some money in the budget and they saw a big name free agent, and that's all it is. We're gonna pay for him. We're gonna pay him the money. We want him to play.
Well, now I would say it's the Dodgers. Now it'd be the Dodgers. Once upon a time, it would have been the Yankees.
Fair enough.
Now it's the Dodgers.
Fair enough. But yeah, he was a business acquisition for the Enterprise, and it was, you know what, it paid off, and we're gonna have it tested this week because we, like Maxwell Mangione had said previously. Now this week we got no Draquan, and it's now he has no Elias. He's got an Elliott Creed in his place, so it's an interesting tag team match coming up at the pay-per-view, defending our championships against them. That'll be a good one. But I mean, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
But yet you still haven't gone that road that Comatose and Draquan have. You've stayed so far. You have
like
stayed.
I said, I mean, I think when it comes down to it, I think there's a world where Comatose understands that bygones can be bygones, and I wasn't the bad guy in the situation, so whatever I decide is my decision, and we can still hold a championship together.
But let's say, when I ask you in a few minutes, because I'm gonna ask you about this decision, but let's say, for argument's sake, that you say, you know what? I know what Harrison said. I saw the promo with Draquan and Comatose, what Comatose and Draquan even said on here. But you know what? Out of loyalty and respect, I'm with I'm not with Draquan. I'm not with Comatose. I'm with Jerry Maine. Because again, I'm a loyal guy. I respect with everything that Jerry Maine has done in promo wrestling before the Enterprise. He's the one that got me here. He's the one that put me and Comatose together to be this tag team. And if it wasn't for Jerry, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, Harrison's been making all these points the last several months, but Jerry was the guy that he was here first. And there are people that still believe in that. Maybe you're that guy. You're that type of guy that says, you know what? After all of what I've heard from guys like Draquan, Comatose, and AJ Harrison, I'm still with Jerry Maine because the first guy that brought me to the dance was Jerry Maine.
And I had said it in one of my previous promos. I had lost either the championship or my second shot at the championship, whatever it was. And the first person I saw through that curtain, it wasn't AJ Harrison, it wasn't Comatose, he wasn't around. It was Jerry Maine. I mean, when you're in the main event, you walk through that curtain and everyone's gone home. You know, the lights are almost off in the locker room at that point. It's a sad sight to see. You can have the biggest moment of your career and then you walk through the curtain and nobody's there. It's too late to celebrate with anyone. And that night, when I needed someone the most, when I was the most down I've been, you know, who was there? There was a Comatose taking a month off for himself. There was an AJ Harrison that wasn't there, but there was a Jerry Maine that was, and it's you know what? There's all things that have played into my decision. It's deeper than what people think. It's not as surface as people think. You know, there's a lot more that goes into it.
There's a lot more. So, are you saying that this is more of a difficult decision than what people may have implied?
I mean, if that's what you want to think, then that's great. But it's an easy decision. The decision has been made. Let me put it that way. The decision, and not even tonight. I've taken my time to think about it because there was a little.
So you've already in your mind before whatever you do, and I understand there's going to be somebody here that you know is going to come on here briefly and have something to say before you get to that decision. But you've already made your decision already. You already made it before you announce it.
Oh, it's been made for a while.
I see. Okay, listen, you say that. You know what? Listen, I don't know what goes on inside your mind. I'm not in that locker room. I'm not in on that side. I barely can turn my own side of my hand right now. But I'm going to certainly not do the twist and shout. But I am going to go share my screen because there's somebody here that would like to say something to you. You probably know who it is, but I'm still going to announce it because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, there he is. Say his name, he appears. AJ Harrison.
Dario, how are you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there.
It's been a while, huh?
Yeah, it has.
So
You wanted me to be here for that whole blacklist ceremony. But when you sent me the invitation, I saw the words blacklist ceremony, and I thought we were just watching the TV show, so I kind of called it quits on that one.
it's all right. I'm aware that you did catch it though. You got to watch it, and you have a very important decision to make. And as well as I do, you mentioned it earlier, that obviously after Comatose took his sabbatical, there was somebody else that I was talking to. This blacklist was not spur of the moment. This all started day one, since I walked through the door. Who says that Jerry Main was not part of the plan? Yeah, Jerry Main brought you and Comatose together, but who says he wasn't a pawn? You two were meant to be together. Once you and Comatose got brought together, that's when everything started. And that's when the plan took shape and set its course. Now, of course, there were some detours and some bumps in the road, but we got past all that. And that's all in the past now. So now we are here. And honestly, I was actually very surprised that it was Comatose that made his decision first. But as history shows, when it comes to me, it's those who are the most defiant are usually the first ones that are, well, they're usually the first ones to make their decision. And they know that I'm the right. So Dario, Tom, if you don't mind, I know you wanted to ask a question, but I would like to, if you guys don't mind, I would like to be the one to ask you, Dario. Comatose said it last week. The family's here. We are patiently waiting for you to come take your seat at the table with the family. Jerry Main has abandoned you enough. Comatose has seen it. Now it's your turn. Come take your seat.
So let's just rewind a little bit. So Tom, basically what I said was right, that there is somebody else in play, because like he said, there was somebody on the phone, there's someone on the other end, that there is another person in place. So I did know that. I knew there was something else going on.
Why is that, Dario?
You tell me. Because like I said, you couldn't have done it all yourself. There's no way you could have done it all yourself. There was no Comatose, and Draquan was out of the picture. So there had to be someone laying the tiles piece by piece to walk that road. Somebody that was on the inside of everything and understood what was going on. Someone that needed to act the part so perfectly that no one would ever expect a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it to Comatose last week. You called him the greatest actor you have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that hurt me. Because, boy, the part I have been playing for so long, to just sit there and put up with Jerry Main's bullshit. Oh, man, it's taken a long time to get that one off my chest, Tom.
Can you repeat that again? Because I may need to get my ears checked. Can you repeat what you just said about Jerry Main?
Oh, I have, even longer before Comatose, I have been done with Jerry Main's bullshit.
What? Say that again? You're done with Jerry Main and
I
his
have been
vote?
sick of it for longer than you can imagine. Since that first appearance on Sportswire, you can go back. I even think it's at the very end. People might not have saw it. The heart breaks. The picture is forms and the pieces were laid on that very night, the very first night.
The devil
It
is
all
in the
came
detail.
together.
Tom, come on. On your very
The
own show, you
breadcrumbs have
laid
been
out the
there,
detail.
Tom.
Let's repeat that, because there are some people here that feel that you, Dario Divine, shouldn't make this decision. I see Eli Bowman here in this chat, and he has said, and I repeat before I think I'm about to hear what I just heard. Never trust AJ Harrison. He just fought you and tried to take everything from you in EPW. AJ Harrison sucks, but it seems to me that you seem to think that Jerry Mayne sucks, and you've made that decision, well, even longer than when Comatose had made his
Oh,
decision.
trust me, Eli. I love you. You know we go way back, but that Change of Fortune Championship, first of all, is coming back to who it rightfully belongs to, and that is not the Enterprise. That's not who we are. Comatose and I, we are the kiss of death.
The kiss of death. The kiss of death, ladies and gentlemen. But it seems to me that the Enterprise tonight, right here at 11:05 p.m. Eastern Time, may have just gotten its kiss of death. And maybe you just might want to say a sign of the cross and say your prayers, because the Enterprise is no more. It is 6 feet under, because what Dario Divine has just told us, that he is no more. He's sayonara, and he's truly never been with the Enterprise.
You see, Tom, when it comes to the blacklist, before the blacklist comes, the kiss of death comes before. And that is what you have with Comatose and Dario Divine. When you see the kiss of death tag team coming for you, you know that the blacklist is not far behind. And that is when you have to be afraid. I have eyes and ears everywhere. I can't do it by myself. Of course, Comatose took his sabbatical. Of course.
No, you said that last week. You said
Yes.
that you had
We
been
played
collaborating with him during that 1 month sabbatical when Comatose had exited stage left. You had said that then, and you go back with Dario Divine, which was a month prior on his first appearance, when you came on here to talk with Dario Divine, where Jerry Mayne, like I said, was MIA.
And you can sit there. Sorry, AJ.
No, go ahead.
You can sit there and you can preach loyalty all you want, Tom. I get it for what's going on with you and Jerry. I understand the history, but think about loyalty. I mean, who's more loyal than a guy that never shows up? I mean, what do you call that for loyalty? I mean, for a guy that can't answer a phone call when you need him the most, for a guy that says, "Hey Dario, you got a big title match against Elias coming up. I'll be there ringside in case you need me." And who walks down that ramp alone?
Obviously, maybe Jerry in his own way is trying to show you a path that if you do it on your own, it's going to lead you to where you'll continue to be. Again, I don't know. Nobody knows what's going through the mind of Jerry Mayne, but maybe that's his own way. Or maybe it's something bigger. Maybe it's something higher. Maybe it's something higher
so
from Jerry Mayne.
It was so easy for him. He had everything he could ever want in the palm of his hands. This was all he wanted. After he finished his in-ring career, he said it. This was all he wanted. He wanted to be part of a group, and he wanted to take the game by storm. And he had it. He had it with the Enterprise. And all he did was just watch it disintegrate in front of him, and he never saw it for a second.
Or maybe from what you're telling me tonight, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but from what you're telling me tonight, that Jerry Mayne wanted to be the guy taking the credit for what you and Comatose had done. Because if you think about it, even Jerry Mayne in his prime, could a Jerry Mayne go toe-to-toe with the Dario Divine? Or certainly a Comatose, who in his own right, long before he was a promo wrestler, had certainly proven what he could do on and outside the ring, on and off the mic? Maybe Jerry Mayne, deep down on his best day, knew that he couldn't go toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano, with a Dario Divine and a Comatose.
What's the saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. What did Jerry Mayne do? Like I said, he sat there at the TPW Rumble and he picked the two biggest winners of the night, the two biggest stars he saw, the two best performances. And he said, "You two, I don't want you in my way. I want you by my side instead. If you can't beat him, join him." And he said, instead of join him, I'm going to form him. And like I said, all he wanted was a group. And that was because Jerry Mayne needed somebody other than himself to accept himself. Because he understood, like you said, Tom, that he couldn't cut it anymore. He needed Comatose and I to sit there and idolize him, to act like he was important, just so he could feel something again. And now it's done. Now he has nothing, and that's why you have no word from Jerry Mayne. Jerry is long gone, and if he does pop back up, I will be sure to be the one to put him back down 6 feet under and end the career of Jerry Mayne.
Whoa! Time out. I
I
think
don't
I
know why
just
that
heard
comes
that.
to a surprise.
That last sentence. Say that last sentence again, though, for the audience, because I think I heard something.
Yeah, no, you heard me. I don't know why it comes as a surprise. That's why I'm laughing. Jerry's career as he knew it was over before the Enterprise started. He clung to the last bit of relevancy he could until we looked him in the face and said, no more. And now it's done. And like I said, where's Jerry? Where's Jerry to hear from him? Comatose has said this almost 2 weeks ago now. He threw us under the bus. Jerry still hasn't poked his head out from the sand to even take a breath.
Jerry Mayne sits in the same Motel 6 room, crying his eyes out, refusing to pop out to even see the break of daylight because he can't fathom what has happened to him. He's sitting in that room and he won't come out because of what he has done. He's done this to himself. What did I do, Tom? I did absolutely nothing but save these two gentlemen. See, Jerry had a motive for putting these two together. I had no motive. I sat back and I watched how Jerry treated.
Well, you gave Harrison the first time he was on here, AJ Harrison. You gave Dario Divine some friendly advice. You had talked about that. When Comatose again announced his sabbatical, you were here. Jerry Mayne was not.
And he gave that advice. And Tom, I hate to say it, but all that was us just trying to leave it under your nose. We were trying to leave the clues from day one. I mean, like I said, he called Comatose the best actor he's ever seen, and that broke my heart because I've been playing the part for longer, and now I'm here. Now we understand what truly has to be done. And like I said, you can hear it again from my mouth. The career of Jerry Mayne is over. And if it's not, it'll be at my hands.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got a decision, but I think what we also just heard is that if Jerry Mayne decides to come out and decide maybe to address this, Dario Divine has addressed this live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where you make a decision like this. That his decision, his executive decision, is going to be that he wants Jerry Mayne, and not only does he want him, he wants to end his career. In fact, he wants to be exactly like what Gunther has done here the last year. Dario Divine may be the lover boy, but you may want to call him the career killer next.
And it's funny. I hate to claim that and make my stake on it because Comatose was the first one to say that he wants to wrap his hands around his throat. And you know what? He like he said, he has first dibs on him. So I'll give him that pleasure. But hey, whatever's left of him, I'll just bury it. It's fine. What it comes down to is this has been going on for longer than anyone understands. Longer, and you'll see soon enough. I'll figure it out. I'll make sure there's a way where I can show you all of the clues that have been left, all of the breadcrumbs that have just gone so under the radar, past all of your stupid little heads because you can't understand it. The fact that people could sit there and say, Dario Comatose, you're so stupid. Why are you with Jerry Mayne? Why don't you just break away? Can't you see there's something going on here? Can't you see things take time? Plans take time. And AJ Harrison was the most impatient of anyone. That's the thing. He wanted to break us away for so long. He couldn't stand to see it. And I had to sit there day by day, week by week to tell him there's a time and a place. Just let it happen. Let it happen.
Not a
I will
guy.
let you know when the time is right. And boy, Tom, is the time right.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got our decision, and the decision is that the Enterprise again has received its kiss of death on February the 27th, 2026. Remember that day. Just like last week, we remembered February the 19th when it came to the day the blacklist was formed. But today, February 27th, 2026, is the day that, well, you might want to say that the kiss of death to the Enterprise has happened. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can certainly say that again. And boy, Dario Divine has definitely made his decision, ladies and gentlemen. He has made it, and he has made it and some. And Zilla is saying hello to people that I don't think are here with us anymore. Thank you.
Now, Tom, if we can we have a moment of silence for the death of the Enterprise? Okay, that's enough. We don't care about it.
Well,
That's
I'm going to go an extra couple of seconds. But also, Draquan would like to say that he would like to join, but he has real world duty calls. So he is here in solidarity, but he wants to say that he does stand in support of his Blacklist colleagues, because the newest member of the Blacklist, ladies and gentlemen, is here, and that is Dario Divine, and he's also coming for the career of one Jerry Mayne. Jerry Mayne may be Jerry maimed. He may be Jerry maimed coming up, because now you might want to say, instead of calling him the lover boy Dario Divine, you may want to call him the career killer Dario Divine. Remember the night, February the 27th, 2026. You got your decision, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. Dario Divine, one half of the TPW and EPW Tag Team Champions, is now a member of the Blacklist, and the kiss of death has now happened to the Enterprise, and you can say goodbye, a tout le monde, Jew Misery, to Jerry Mayne and the Enterprise.
And you know what, Tom? Here's the funniest thing about Jerry Mayne. He has been ducking me no matter how many times I've called him out. He has ducked me. He has avoided me every single chance that he could. But now there's no avoiding it. Now the kiss of death is coming for him. And when that happens, whether I get my hands on him or not, that's not important anymore, because he will not get past the kiss of death. What's important to me is because we've already seen the destruction of the Enterprise. I am known as the collector for a reason. I have a vast collection, if I must go into it. And I can't think of a sweeter memento to remember the destruction of the Enterprise, the destruction of Jerry Mayne, than to take those signature Jerry Mayne glasses. And since Jerry Mayne will not step up to me, and since he won't get past Kiss of Death, then why not? Why not just allow the kiss of death to end him there? And then we just have a ceremony where they get presented. I will put them on my mantle and I can look at them for the rest of my life as truly the day where we buried Jerry Main and we saved wrestling, promo wrestling, just wrestling, everything as a whole. We saved the world from what Jerry Main has done to it.
Well, we'll have to find out. Famously, God rest his soul, Chris Cornell of Soundgarden sang "The Day I Tried to Live." Well, it seems like AJ Harrison and Dario Divine want to sing "The Day That They Kill Jerry Main and his career and Jerry maim him." And that's what they want, because AJ Harrison has come to collect and Dario Divine has come with a kiss of death to the Enterprise. And what's next is the career of Jerry Main. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, remember the night on February the 27th, 2026, on a Friday in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, where Dario Divine made his decision. And his decision is that he has not only been a Blacklist member, but he's long looked to put an end to the Enterprise. And this is where the kiss of death topped all of it. And we're going to see a formation of himself, AJ Harrison, alongside Comatose and Draquan. And boy, ladies and gentlemen, interesting times ahead. I have no doubt we will talk about it very soon. And since you guys have made your decision and made your announcements and what you have gotten off your chest, is there anything else that you may want to say here tonight?
AJ?
Right.
Oh.
Well,
That's called chemistry, folks.
Hey, I mean, you guys seem to be knowing exactly how it all fell into place.
Before you go on, let me start with this. AJ always claimed to say that there was a man that called him and said, "Hey, you need to talk to Rocky and get back in TPW." And I think it's finally time we can reveal who that person was. I think it's quite obvious now. Because we sat there and I called him and I said, there are bigger things at play here. There's a bigger play in motion, and this is the beginning. And when that second AJ Harrison run started, that presidential campaign, that's when this truly began, Tom. And that was the building blocks of the Blacklist. And who better? Comatose wanted to take time off, so be it. Who better than to lay the foundation, brick by brick, piece by piece, so that we can all just walk down that path into this glorious time, the Blacklist era. And if you can run into the kiss of death, you don't want to get blacklisted. Let me just put it that way. And Eli Bowman said it earlier. AJ Harrison's a snake. He just went up against you. He tried to take your company. Did he really? Or, as you can see, we run the company together. I mean, was this a play in the books all the time? Do we just know how to sell tickets? I mean, we have you all on strings. I've been a puppeteer for months now. I play you all like a fiddle. You don't understand it. Jerry Main was never part of the equation. Comatose, that was the only thing I had to do, was sit there and gather the balls to ask Comatose, are we going to pull the trigger now? And it wasn't time. And then he took time off. And when he came back, I received a message from him that said 2 words. It's time. And I messaged him back, the turn? And he said, yup. And that was all we needed to hear. The plan went back into motion.
Well, listen, AJ Harrison, before you do anything, Eli Bowman, Dario Divine, you certainly have some answers. You have some answers to those questions, I'd hope.
See, we don't owe anybody an explanation. Tom, when I went and I said it here on Sportzwire, I spoke to Comatose the very day he came back from his sabbatical. Before he even returned home, I talked to him on the phone. And I asked him, join me. Make the turn on Jerry Main. Are you up for it? And I told him that I was talking to that man right there. And he said, let me go talk to him. Let me make sure that it's all right with Dario. And as soon as I talk to him and we get everything straightened out, I'm good for it. Everything was set in motion. We took our times. I'm not, like Dario said, I am not a patient guy. So as much as I was chomping at the bit, again, there's time and a place for it. And as excited as I was, I'm glad I waited. And boom, oh boy, did it! I did everything hit perfectly. Now, of course, you know, the roadblocks and did everything turn out the way we would have liked? Of course not. Was it smooth sailing? Not really. You know, that the second run, the presidential campaign went absolutely fantastic. A couple people, may have muddied things up, but unfortunately, it's out of our hands. They get dealt with in other companies, and that's okay. However, what's important is the family is here now. And that's what's important. We still got eyes, and things get dealt with in TPW. Things get dealt with in other companies. Everything is still working like a well-oiled machine. So I'm not worried. I don't think Dario's worried. Comatose ain't worried. Nobody's worried. Everything is running as it should. There's always a workaround everything.
Well, we're going to find out. I'll tell you what, very interesting times ahead. And listen, AJ Harrison had said this was all a chain of events. And the man that was the biggest orchestrator of it maybe was the guy that was right here that announced his decision. You know, people talked about LeBron when he announced his decision to take his talents to South Beach. But that was announced right there, right for the spot. This, ladies and gentlemen, this decision, well, it's been coming for a long, long time. The train already left the station a long time ago. And this decision that Dario Divine made, it was methodically created. It was carefully crafted. And that's why you're seeing the day that the kiss of death was given to the Enterprise. Remember it, February 27th, 2026. And oh, by the way, Dario Divine, if he gets his way and Jerry Main shows up out of the shadows and comes back, you might want to add the name, the career killer, to Dario Divine. Boy, ladies and gentlemen, we'll certainly be talking more about this, I have no doubt, in the near and distant future. If you're out there, give a follow to these guys in their social medias. I'm sure you'll hear more from Draquan. I'm sure Comatose will be out there. You know he'll be coming back because, well, wrestling season's on the way very, very soon. And you know the Blacklist as a group, I am sure, will be coming to collect soon. And they'll be coming to collect for anybody that gets in their way, and especially one Jerry Main. Fellas, thank you very much for being here. I wish you much luck. We will certainly see what happens, or maybe what does not happen, because, well, we still haven't heard from Jerry Main, and who knows? Maybe it's even better for
Tom,
Jerry Main.
I don't think we will. I think if Comatose has anything to do with it, I don't think we'll be hearing from Jerry for a while.
Listen, you know what? Maybe that might be his strategy, or his best strategy, or maybe he does have something still left in the Gipper. Maybe there's still, I don't know. Listen, time will tell. I'm sure we'll have an update on it. Thank you so much, everybody here, for being with us and watching it on Instagram when the clip comes out in a little bit, and other platforms. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I am here now with not one, but two members of the Blacklist, the Don of Combat, AJ Harrison, and also the man you might want to call the career killer, Dario Divine, and he is also the co-owner of EPW, alongside AJ Harrison. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And Zilla would like to say he is the GOAT. And certainly Eli Bowman's not too happy. But thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll be back.
He's a
tomorrow.
kid. He doesn't get it, Tom.
Well, you know,
You know,
we're gonna find out.
it's funny because for a kid that just messaged me about Hollywood, he doesn't understand that this is a business and it's show business. And when it comes down to it, the moves have to be made where the money is made.
Well,
And
we certainly
Jerry
had
Maine
them
is
here on
old money
Sportswire.
these
We have
days.
definitely had the millionaires, and we can sure ask them about that. But nevertheless, we'll be back here tomorrow with the EWA guys, and we'll see about Sunday. But in the meantime, thank you, everybody. Follow these guys on their social media platforms. They are 2 forts of the Blacklist. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station, that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and all wrestling matters. Remember the day, February 27th, 2026, the kiss of death to the Enterprise. We'll talk more about it soon. Have a great night.